Hello everybody and welcome to Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life episode 2 anime review. We shall now henceforth be calling it Average Abilities because it's too long of a title. Someone told me they'd like proper acronym or no acronym, shortened version. Is that an acronym? Don't think so. I forget the word. You know, the shorthand. Someone told me and I forgot it. My bad, didn't write it down. But yeah, this episode felt more like this is what business as usual is going to be. Someone commented, I'm sorry I forgot who you are, forgot your name. They commented saying last week's episode was basically, it was filler, and they cut out like half of the first book or something I think I read, which, you know, it didn't impact the as an anime only, didn't impact it too much for me. You know, it still felt that you still got basically what's going on, so I don't think it was too big a deal from just an anime perspective. Of course, people who have read the thing are going to be annoyed regardless because stuff's been cut and we don't want stuff cut. Cutting stuff is bad. But yeah, this episode felt more like what it's going to be. You know, we had basically just her trying to be average and failing at it. I think that's a lot of what the show is going to be. But enough of all that. Let's jump right into the episode, see what went down, everything. I'll give my thoughts on it as well. Let's do this. The episode picks up where we left off last week. She's just become roomies with those other three girls whose names are, because I wrote them down this week. We've got Mavis, that's the sword one, the older one. We have Raina, she's the red one. And we have Pauline, she's the other one who I couldn't think of a thing for. If only she had some physical attribute that stood out. But, you know, I can't put my finger on what that could be. Also, main girl is Mile. So there, I've gone through all their names. Now I've got to remember it for the next 10 weeks. Basically, she says, I'm a low rank because trying to make herself average, and they're like, we don't believe you. You're lying to me. School bells, literally saved by the bell to go to the introductory ceremony or whatever. See what you can do, girls. First up is a sword thing. Miles' opponent is some guy, he's bold, so he's pretty old. Rhyme, intentional. Yeah, trying to be average. The opponent calls her flat, which I feel like is going to be a recurring theme with every time she gets called flat, she's going to go angry and go all out. One shots the poor dude, oof. Then later on, she used Raina's original spell that only she should be able to use because she thought it was like she did it less powerfully because she was like, oh, make me look average. But then, and then she's like, no one should be able to do that, and it's like, oops. So like that's why I said it's like she's trying to be average, but she's failing. And, you know, it could be quite funny. I could see it definitely wearing on people's nerves. After that, she just runs away. She's like, escape! Painted a Nendoroid. Remember those little chibi things? Then Pauline shows up and overhears her and then invites her to tea. I did like the bit where Mile was like, aha, I got away with it. And Pauline was like, she probably thinks she got away with it. I'm like, aha, I like that. That was good. And that made me smile. So smile, hey, Smile, get it? Because it's her name. Yeah, invited to tea. What happened at tea time? What is it? Tea thing? Tea drinkers do? They stick their pinky out. Tea time. Tea time turns out to basically be an interrogation. They're all interrogating her and everything. She tells them a well thought out lie, which actually just turned out to be a plot of a book she'd read. Of course, they'd all read the book as well, so it didn't work out. Pauline then says everyone says they have something they'd rather not talk about. So that's interesting. So I assume later on in the series we're going to learn more about all the others and their pasts they don't want people to know about. I think they're all going to have one, even though, what's her name? Mavis, close enough. Mavis was like, no, I don't have anything. Or maybe that's going to be the joke, is the other two have got dark pasts, and she's just like, no, I just have a normal past. Maybe that might be the joke, actually. That'd be pretty funny. And then at the end, they all think she's a ditz, and that was quite funny too. Because she's OP, but she's still ordinary in a weird way. Like she's average, but she's not average. It's like a contrast of interests, conflicts. You know what I'm trying to say? Conflict of interest, contrast of things. I know what I mean. For their first assignment, I guess, they've got to form parties and go and clear a quest. I guess they're allowed to pick whatever quest they want, so that worked well. They've got to kill some rabbits. Miles shows off her search magic. I'm going to go pretty quick through this bit. The rabbits keep dodging. Miles like, I could do it myself, but teamwork. So then she trains the others, teaches the mages some water magic. Everything is a secret family technique. that joke's not going to get old quick, you know. Whenever they ask her something, she's like, secret family technique. I got a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot of that. Like, we heard it like 3 or 4 times this episode, so I feel like that's going to be a recurrence, as they say. New plan is to make everyone stronger. This is her plan. Miles like, if everyone's stronger, then I don't stand out as much. Which honestly, you're like raising the average to where, so then you would, so like you're up here, you raise the average to up here, then you're average. It actually does make some sense when you think about it. Has a sword spar with Mavis, and there's a Dragon Ball Z reference. I'm pretty sure it was a Dragon Ball Z reference. I was like, she looks like a Goku. Is she Goku? But yeah, then later she trains Mavis dressed as an old man, which I guess is maybe like Karate Kid or something, like Mr. Miyagi. You know, that's what I thought. It's probably an anime reference that I didn't get because I'm a young boy and I haven't seen enough anime, even though I feel like I've seen a lot. Apparently I haven't, so I'm going to assume it's one of them old shonens that I've not seen. But maybe I'm just... It reminded me of Mr. Miyagi from like that movie, Karate Kid. Oof, I feel bad I forgot that. Next segment. So she just pulls a tent out of her pocket, and I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. Because it's just fully set up, and she's just like, whoop, boop, I just elbowed a thing, and that hurt. They tell her not to tell anyone that she's OP, because I forget their reasoning, because they don't want to share her, and, you know, she'd make her too much of a splash, and everyone would want her. Fixes that sword she broke by burying it. Magic is cool. Pauline is like thinking she'd be useful for business. I like Pauline's thought. She's like, she's so good, I could make use of her. I mean, it's a horrible thing because she's just going to use her and be done with her. But I assume that's how it's going to start, and then later on we're going to develop. They're like, actually, no, they're friends. That's what I think we're going with. They fight the rabbits. They kill the rabbits off screen. A rock golem appears. The 3 girls work together to defeat one. While that's happened, Miles defeated the other 2. She fangirls over them a little bit as well. Get back to the place, school. It's a school or academy. School, same thing. That squad is the only ones that passed, making them even less average. Because if the average is no one passed, and they part, then they're standing out. And then later on, those bad guys from last week's episode all meet in a little carriage. It looks very cramped, and they're like, we know where they are. So I guess they're going to attack the school. They feel kind of like comedy villains. Like if they're the main villains. Or maybe, I mean, this show doesn't seem like it's set up for a world-ending crisis so far. But, so like, maybe Little League villains would actually be a better thing. That was the end of the episode, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I like the low-stakes feel to it in a weird way. Like, it's not like, you've been isekai'd, go save the world. It's, you've been isekai'd, have fun, I guess. Which is... You know, isekai, what do you call it? Like isekai slice of life-ish? I don't know what to call it, but I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good. The opening song has that little dance thing they do. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. That was cool too. I like that. What else is there to mention? Oh, I'm probably forgetting something. But yeah, they opened up a few threads with bloody Pauline. Pauline especially, I feel like we're going to focus on her first because she's had the most threads dangled this episode. And then Mavis has got the least threads. And then Raina is somewhere in the middle with threads. I hope people know what I'm talking about and I'm not just chatting complete garbo. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see where we go. I hope it's good. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. There's a lot of anime in the world, don't you know? I will see you next week for another episode of this. And bye guys.